My next guest is Doris Milton, and she is the owner of Healthcare Career Coach. Doris, you've been on my radio show many, many times. You've had your own show. You work on your own show. I don't know where, but you have to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and why you're here today.
The main reason I'm here today, Carol, is that I've had a dream career, and what I really want is to help others have their dream career as well. Now, I've worked a lot with different healthcare professionals and executives, and I have a whole program to help them get their dream career, not necessarily mine. I've done a lot of interesting things and done travel for speaking. I've traveled as far away as Australia.
Wow.
To speak. I got to snorkel on the Great Barrier Reef, so that was really good.
That's really neat.
And I've been an author. I've been in administration, education, research, a whole bunch of different things. And the advantage I have is that I know what people need to do to achieve their dream.
Well, we want to also explain to them that it's for healthcare professionals, and that's something that you focus on, and there's a really good reason for that. There's a lot of people out there that might be in their dream job now, but it could be that something happens and you don't have that job all of a sudden, or the technology changes, and what are they going to do? They've been doing what they do for so long, so that's where you step in.
Yes, and there's a lot going on in healthcare these days. You hear something about it every morning on the news. And so a lot of the positions that exist now won't exist 5 or 10 years from now. And I'm getting lots of contacts from people who are just starting out, and they're not wanting to waste time or energy, in doing things that aren't going to get them to where they really want to be. And I think that's an important point, because when you work in healthcare, either as a practitioner or as an administrator, executive, you work long, hard days, and you get home, and the last thing you want to think about is, I think I want to sit down and plan my career.
Right.
Well, when we get
most
home,
people don't.
And most people don't. We all have different things, laundry and email and kids and meals, just life interfering. But yet I've found that if people have a plan, and that's what I do, is I work with them to develop a detailed career plan for them. That's why I narrow it down to healthcare, because healthcare, I know the principles may apply to a lot of different people, but healthcare is where I really know what exactly they need to do to get to their dream.
Okay, so let's talk about what you do to help them find that path that they might be looking for.
Yeah. First, I usually work with them to help clarify what their dream career is, because many people limit themselves and think, oh, I can't possibly do that, when they really can possibly do that. A lot of people, for example, don't think they have the time. And then whenever they tell me they don't have the time, then I know they really need my help. So they need to do something else. And it reminds me all the time of that Henry Kissinger said once that there cannot be a crisis next week. My schedule is already full.
Right, me too.
And I think that's where a lot of healthcare people get in is, I don't know if I developed a plan, so what? I don't have the time to implement it. But I work with them to not only develop the plan, but break it into manageable parts, maybe 15 minutes, so that even if they're tired at night, I often ask them, could you give me 15 minutes when you get home? Oh yeah, but what's that going to do? There's always something you can do in 15 minutes to help move you forward.
Well, that's an absolutely wonderful way that you put that. So let's say, your programs, I want to talk about them a little bit, because it's a 7-step program. If it's okay, I'd like to talk about that, and that it's a proven program.
It's a program that I've used for many, many years to work with a variety of healthcare professionals. There's physicians, physical therapists, nurses, pharmacists. And what I find when I talk to people is not that they're terribly dissatisfied with what they're doing, okay? But they're not really excited about what they're doing. And when I work with them, all of a sudden their eyes light up, whether it's they want to continue being an employee or they want to be self-employed. Or a lot of people these days are doing a combination. You call it the gig economy. They do some little side hustle in addition to their regular thing. And I think that that's very helpful to people.
Well, I do too, because you had mentioned before on my radio show before how people are, some people want to add 2 or 3 different types of things that they're doing, and it helps them to be able to almost have, well, I guess the freedom to be able to, some people have retired and not sure if they really want to retire. Is that correct?
Well, I find a lot of people are either just starting out and they don't want to waste time, or another group I get is they're mid-career, and they've been very satisfied with what they're doing up until then, but they're sort of itching to make a change, but they don't know exactly what, and if they know what, they don't know how to make that happen. And then I'm getting an increasing number of contacts from people who are getting ready to retire from their regular position, but they feel like there's so much in their head and so many skills they have. They want to do something. They don't want to continue doing what they've been doing.
Right.
But they want to do something different.
Absolutely. So how do they get in contact with you? What's the best thing that they should do?
The best way I find for people is to call me, and the number is 602-944-3292, or they can send me an email, Doris at Healthcare Career Growth, or they can go to my webpage that has all the information on it, healthcarecareergrowth.com. And what I do then is, rather than say, okay, sign up for this program, is I talk with them for at least a half an hour to find out if the program I have, that's 7 steps from the beginning till they finally have a plan, if that's the right thing for them. Because we know what works for one person doesn't necessarily work
Right.
For someone else.
Right. But now, is it anybody in any kind of health career at all? Give examples of some kind of people.
Any healthcare, anybody who's in healthcare and is an executive but doesn't necessarily have their own healthcare discipline. For example, I've worked with a pharmacist who she wants to be a faculty member 5 years from now. Now, one of the things is, if you're a pharmacist or physical therapist or a nurse or whatever it is working for an organization, you can't really make a common knowledge that you're going to be wanting to do something else in a few years. Plus, these days, everyone's so busy, even if they think they know how to help you, they may not have the time
Right.
To help you.
So when you mention something like there's a lot of people that are at work that they really can't talk about that. So they talk to you. Do you do most of your work at night? Is them with them?
No, because healthcare professionals have all different kind of hours.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's on the weekends, sometimes it's during the day, sometimes it's in the evening. And so I've developed, for example, an online course for them if they can't sign up to do a full program.
Let's talk about that.
Because of their hours. Well, there's lots of what they call learning management systems or platforms where they can sign up and take the course either by itself online, or they can take it as part of a program where I work with them.
Well, I'll tell you something. If
Yeah.
you're in the healthcare arena, and it doesn't really matter any area of it, and maybe you're not sure, this is not something I want to do for the rest of my life. Maybe you are thinking, I might want to change a different area of medical or something else completely. It could be their dream job of anything.
Yes, and I think that it has to be their dream, and they cannot impose limits on that, of saying, like, I talked to one person, and she said, I don't think I can be self-employed. And rather than limit yourself to thinking you can't do something, because there's the old saying, if you think you can or you think you can't, either way you're right. So I encourage people to at least know what they would need to do exactly. For example, practically every healthcare field, they have to publish something. But just publishing an article for the sake of publishing an article is not necessarily going to help. If it's not in the journal that's respected, if it's not on a topic where you show that you can do a specific position or you have expertise, then I hate to say wasted time, but it is wasted time when you could have been using it to do something that would have benefited you getting your dream career.
So what's the first question you always ask everyone?
The first question I always ask everyone usually comes down to if they could do anything at all that they wanted with no limits. Money was not an object, time was not an object. What would that be? And I usually get a laugh because that's not usually how people think. They usually think in terms of what might be possible for me to do. And I try to get them out of that area of what might be possible. Thinking if there were no limits at all, Would you like to be a faculty member? Would you like to be in a healthcare system? Would you like to be in a different healthcare discipline than you are now? For example, I've worked with people who are in a pharmacy. There's one gal who's a pharmacy technician. She really has always wanted to be a nurse practitioner. She's always thought it's not possible. But once we develop a plan for that, it becomes possible.
I think
we
it's
chip
really
away
neat.
at it. And I get so excited when other people get to do exactly what they want to do.
I do too. I think that's really
And
neat.
they can make more of a contribution as well.